So in the last couple of videos, we were building these random shapes while learning to navigate Inventor. In this last video, I want to show you how to use the selection tool. And you can just click on random faces to select things if you want, but there's actually a really cool way to select multiple things at once in Inventor that we started to discuss in previous videos, but let's explore it a little bit more in detail. So open this random extrusion file if you don't already have it open. And I'm going to hit my home button to center this. And so let's go back into our second extrusion. We go over here, make sure we have our extrusion open by hitting this plus sign, and let's right click on our sketch 2 and hit edit sketch. And in here, once you're in here, what I want you to do is I want you to click and drag to the left. I want you to watch what happens. It selects all of these things. Then I want you to click off and click and drag to the right. And again, watch what happens. Now you'll notice when I drag to the left, it's green, and when I drag to the right, it's red. And there actually is a difference between the two colors. If I drag my green select, I want to be very careful to only touch certain things. I don't want to touch everything, I just want to touch certain things. Notice what it selects. It selected every piece of geometry that it touched. And so I touched this arc, I touched this arc, I touched this line, I touched these two lines, and obviously I touched all three of these pieces of geometry. It selects everything I touch. If I do the same thing with my red select, if I drag it this way, you'll see I'm touching all the same pieces of geometry. I'm touching this line, this arc, these two lines, this arc, and of course all of this shape. If I let go, you'll see it only selects these 2 points and this entire shape. And so what's the difference between green select and red select? Green select selects everything it touches. Red select only selects the things that it fully engulfs. And so you'll notice I'm touching a lot of shapes, but it only selected the shapes that I fully engulfed. And so for example, I'm fully engulfing this line. I'm fully engulfing these two lines. I'm fully engulfing this entire shape and this entire shape, but I'm only touching the corners of these pieces of geometry. And so you'll notice it doesn't select those. And that's the difference between green select and red select. And so once you've played with both of those, go ahead and hit finish sketch. And so real quick, before we finish our video, I want to show you the difference between green select and red select again, but in the 3D world, if you want to edit this in the 3D world. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go over to your Tools tab in your ribbon and click Adjust. And then I want you to select some color that you want. And I want you to go to the bottom right of your screen and drag to the left and select a few things. Now remember, green select selects everything you touch. And so if you touch some shape, it will change the color. Obviously, if I fully engulf everything, it'll grab everything. But I don't want you to fully engulf everything. I just want you to touch a few things and see. Notice before you let go, what is it touching? And then let go. And whoops, it looks like we need to select the color after we select these shapes. But you'll see what is selected. Now click on the color that you wanted and hit your check sign. And you'll see I changed those colors. Then I want you to go back to adjust again, and this time go to the bottom left of your screen and drag right. And this time I want you to notice what you're touching and what you're fully engulfing. So look at the shapes that I'm barely touching and the shapes that I'm fully engulfing and watch what happens. You'll see what is selected. And let's change these colors to some other color and hit the check mark. And so you can kind of see how this system works, how this select tool works. But once you're done playing around with it, go ahead and make sure you hit your save button in your quick access toolbar. It should already be named. And we are done with this shape.